Okay, hi, my name is young Beniboy. Today we're here with the one and only Callmesvea or Svea, whatever you want to call them. We're here together to talk about our song, which is Strangers for Life, and I think it came out recently. So would you like to introduce yourself?
Yes, hi, Svea. Actually, you already said everything I wanted to say. Shall we start maybe how we started to collaborate and how we started to write a song together?
I think that'll be interesting. Honestly, I think we should have a drink first. I prepared something. I think it's a rum. I don't really have a lot of alcohol in my house, so I looked for something to drink.
I got some red wine because I'm not even a wine drinker. I don't really like wine that much, but I thought it's bougie enough for this interview.
It's bad and bougie. How do we start actually making music together and connecting with each other? Because it was so fucking random.
It was super random because actually we started to have a conversation over Instagram DMs because I think I followed you because you were recommended from Instagram. So I was like, oh hey, this dude looks cool. I'll just follow him. And then you randomly just messaged me about my Instagram profile pic and my bio.
Yeah, you had like purple hair. Like, no, it was pink hair. And I really liked it. I was like, that's fucking sick. I fucking love it. And I messaged her and I was like, yeah, I fucking love your hair. I love your vibe and it's giving me punk rock vibes. And you were like, thank you. And we started talking.
That's the story how we actually started to know each other. And then one day, because we had the question, how did we start to make music together, right? One day I did an Instagram story where I asked, is there someone who wants to make cool music with me? You answered, do you want to make cool music with young Beniboy? And I was like, oh yeah, I'm down for that. That sounds pretty cool.
It was like a poll thing or something like that. I'm pretty sure I didn't ask like, are you down to make cool music with young Beniboy?
I think you did.
I actually did. Oh my god. He was like, is someone down to make music? And I texted her. And then I think a few days after, we started talking about an idea which the song was going to be about. And how did we come up with the topic?
I know that we first wanted to decide what genre that song should have. So we were like, oh, maybe an emo vibey cool song would be great. And then we were like, okay, what topic would fit to that? And then we decided, okay, maybe we should write a love song, but not this typically, oh, my heart is broken love song. This like very basic, typical love.
The typical pop song. The pop rock.
Right.
We didn't want to write that,
So we decided on a story which is basically based on two persons' perspectives or point of views. We have a boy and we have a girl. And do you want to explain what that boy thinks?
It's actually kind of fucked up. I mean, it's very creepy. So the story of the song is this guy who is so in love with this girl to the point where he knows everything about her, and he's stalking her on Instagram and on all the socials, and he's stalking her in real life, and he thinks he knows her so much, and also believes she should be in a relationship with him because he's the only guy who actually deserves her because he cares about her so much. And that's me basically talking in the song and describing his point of view. And it's creepy because I'm basically saying, I know when you're nude and when you're showering and all that shit. It's so fucking creepy.
I took the girl's perspective or point of view. And when I was writing the second verse, I was thinking about, what would she think about? And she was actually not really aware that he was stalking her. She was just like, oh, that's a dude. And he maybe thinks I'm attractive, or he maybe likes me, but he's way too shy to come and talk to me. And actually she was more into this like, he's kind of cute. Maybe this is a thing that could work out since he's just coming to this one spot to see her and is always too shy to talk to her. She didn't really think about what else would be behind this whole story.
Yeah, she has no idea.
She really has no idea.
Yeah. And I really don't know where the motivation for the song came from. It just was this idea of a love song, but not like a typical love song. We wanted to write something with a little bit more finesse. So yeah, that's what basically the song is about. Do you know why we call this Strangers for Life?
I'm not quite sure. Obviously, I kind of had to figure it out myself because you didn't really tell me a lot about why you wrote it. But for me, it's kind of like since he's still like always watching her, he's not really approaching her. And then on the other side, she just thinks he's too shy. And actually, both of them see that there might be the possibility for a relationship, but then there is no relationship to happen.
Yeah, it never happens. So yeah, that's basically why it's Strangers for Life. And it's also kind of sad when you think about it, because yeah, he loves her, and she thinks he's cute, but they'll never talk to each other actually. So which maybe is the best for the girl, because then he will actually kill her.
Yeah, true. I have something that I wanted to talk about as well, because you already mentioned that we actually started to write the song pretty soon, or actually we talked about what we want this song to be about.
Yeah.
And I was a little bit, not overwhelmed, but I really liked the way that you were so passionate and straightforward about the process and like writing the song and getting it ready. So how was your writing process? How did everything work out for you?
I think we talked about the song idea the same night. Actually, we started talking about writing a song together. So we were like sending each other ideas about what the song was going to be about. And then we came to the Strangers for Life idea. And I sat in my room with my guitar and I just started playing chords. So we wanted to make like a pop rock song, something like that. And I started playing some chords and then I came to the chords which we implemented into the song. And I think I started with the pre-chorus, which is look at me, you're blind, put me on your side. You don't seem to see me because I'm not on your mind. I start to forget the lyrics because I haven't sang the song in so long. I started with the pre-chorus and then I sent you this idea and you were like, this is awesome. And then I think a day after I started recording, I started making the instrumental first and then the lyrics came for the verse and so on.
Because I know that you were in your little own world, because you were so fast with writing this whole song and producing the beat, recording all of the chords, that you were sending me this and I was like, oh damn, when did he write all of this?
I don't know, I was so in love with the idea. So yeah, it was really quick. And then you started writing your verse and you sent me the files and you were like, so these are only samples. How did you write your part and what was the process like for you?
For me, as I already had everything you wrote, like your verse and your pre-chorus and chorus, I just had the topic I would want to talk about and then just implied that. But then for the second part of my verse, I kind of struggled because there were a lot of different words and ways how I could describe what I wanted to describe. And I was struggling a bit, but then the final product that I was coming up with, I showed that to my best friend and to my mom, and they were both like, oh yeah, that's fine, that sounds cool. And then I think the same day I was standing right here, right in front of that plant, recording my verse, recording those samples to send them to you. The same day my best friend was lying on my bed, and since I recorded those samples quite a few times, or like went through my verse quite a few times, she already knew the lyrics for my verse. So when I recorded them, she was laying on my bed and kind of singing along the lyrics. So you can actually hear her on the samples. And I was quite surprised because you just took those samples that I sent to you and just you were like, okay, those are good enough. I'm just going to take these and put these into the song.
Yeah. And I loved the harmonies, and I was like, did you overlap some harmonies? And you were like, no, it's just my friend singing in the background. And I was like, that's so fucking sick. These sound so good. And I put these in the song, and that's the end product. And how many recordings did it take for you to get to that recording, or was this the first recording?
I think it was like the second or the third, maybe, because I had to get into the singing and warm up a little. And I was like, okay, those are good enough. I'm just going to send them to him.
Yeah, I love it. But yeah, I was actually kind of surprised that you told me these were only samples, and they were pretty fucking good. I actually didn't do much of EQing, really not a whole lot, so it was really good. And I remember I asked you, did you EQ something, or what microphone do you use? And you were like, I use a fucking shitty microphone, and you told me you didn't put an EQ on anything. I was like, holy shit, that's sounds actually quite good for no sound isolation and no EQ. So do you remember how long it took for us to write the entire song? So to write the song and to get to the version of the song which we sent out for mixing and then mastering.
So yeah, writing the song was really, really quick. I think it only took us about really writing the song about 2 weeks, maybe.
Writing the song, yeah, it was really quick.
And then most of the time actually was used for mastering and mixing the song, right? Because that obviously takes time.
That takes some time. Yeah, I also think I put some more guitar layers over it when I was mixing the song. But these are only some very small things that I added in the end. But yeah, so actually the recording the song was quite fast. And also, Strangers for Life, it's so applicable to so many situations, because actually you and me, we have never met in real life.
As well, the first time we actually called face-to-face was after we finished the writing process. I think this is our third face-to-face call that we're making, because the were for actually talking about, okay, how do we want to proceed this whole publishing thing, and what do we want to film regarding videos and stuff like that. And before that, we never really had a face-to-face conversation.
Yeah, true.
So that was
crazy. So we wrote the song, actually never we talked to each other via messages, but we actually never called, and the entire song was made, we never met, so I think it's so fucking crazy.
Yeah,
when you think about that, you could actually get work done and not meet the other person.
Especially when it comes to writing songs, because I feel like writing songs is always something personal, even if you don't connect to the lyrics themselves. But even if you write a song, so for me, this song means a lot, because it's actually the first song that is going to be published with my voice on Spotify, and it means a lot for me because it's my first feature with you and working with another person. Yeah. Which is crazy. But then on the other hand, the thing is that you can work out such an amazing and personal thing without even knowing the other person who you're working with. Yeah, you're right. That's really crazy.
So in some sense, we're still strangers for life, right?
True.
Yeah. It doesn't feel like we're strangers, honestly, because I don't know how long I think it's been from the first time we started talking about the song to now. I think it's been 2 months or something. Maybe even more than 2 months.
I think more than 2 months. I think you first commented. I think the first time we started talking was maybe 5 months ago. That's still a pretty short amount of time.
I'm very glad I made this song with you, because you're so easy to work with, and it was actually really fast when you sent me the samples and the files and everything. And also you recorded some harmonies for the last song and for the pre-chorus, yeah. So
that's what I ask you. What's your favorite part about the song? What part of the song is your favorite?
Oh damn. Actually, I would say the last part, which is the hook with all the other lyrics. But also I really like your part. I really love that part.
Oh, I'm so glad.
No, I would say actually your part is my favorite, because your voice is so good on the song. It's so good. It really fits to the vibe of the song, so I fucking love it.
Thank you. That actually really means a lot to me, because I I mean, you never told me that before, so it's the first time I'm hearing.
I mean, I wanted to make it a surprise for you, so.
Oh.
No, but I really love it, and I told you before I love your voice, so.
Okay, so because my favorite part is actually in the end, I really like your mixing and mastering, and then I really like the end part and the end bridge that you wrote.
Yeah, I know what you mean, yeah.
As well as this, I don't know, it's hard to describe, but this part when we sing "Strangers for Life," and then that was so bad. I'm sorry. When you kind of slide that up, when it's first very underground, but then it gets very clear at the end.
Yeah.
That's probably right.
Yeah. That's all. I like that part too. It's like an underwater effect.
And I mean, you obviously wrote most of the song and most of the lyrics, and I wouldn't have said, okay, I'm going to continue writing the song with you if I wouldn't like the song on its own, because I feel like with every time I listen to the song, I like it more and more and more. I just really like listening to that song. Let's make it short.
Yeah, I mean, I told you before, when I listen to the song, it gives me these kind of high school teenage, these ready teenage vibes.
And it's just, even though the topic might be a little bit sad, since it still is about being a stranger for life, I feel like this song is a feel-good song, and it makes me very happy when I listen to it, because it's just very hyping. Like, it hypes up the way I feel when I listen to it, so I really like that.
What are your plans music-wise after this song?
That's a really interesting question. Since I really like making music, I'm pretty new to the solo music thing though, since I started writing music, I think 2 years ago. But since this is going to be the first song that I appear on Spotify, I wanted to finally publish some other songs that I wrote on my own, and like go and properly record them and mix them and master them and then publish them, as well as know that there might or might not be another feature that I'm going to be on.
Okay.
So,
but you're not allowed to tell who it is.
I mean, I could, but it's really not. I mean, we plan on doing a feature, but we haven't really wrote anything. So what about you? What are your plans? Because I know, because you told me that you actually want to switch from German content to more English-based content, right?
Yeah, yes. I have found that I like to express myself more in English because it feels so much more right to me than in German. When I started making music, I started making German music because I figured, I live in Bonn, Germany, and what doesn't make sense to make English music when I live in Germany? So I started making German music, but then throughout the months, and I've been recording since January, which is not really a long time, but
so you're actually using since January this year?
Yeah, well, I mean, I started making beats when I was 16, but I started recording music actually January this year. I don't know, it's not really long, but I figured throughout the months that I didn't want to only make German music. In fact, I want to focus more on English content because I have found that I could express myself better when the content is in English, not because of the language, but because, I mean, they listen to a lot of English songs, so I think they can relate more when it's in English, and it feels more, as I said, right to me. So, I don't know, that's my process of thought.
What I wanted to ask you as well is, what messages do you want to express with your music? Or what messages do you want to give to the world while making music? What are your intents to do music?
This is a huge one for me because I feel like with music you can basically say everything you want to say the whole day, but you can't say it because your friends might think you're weird, or your parents might think you're fucking weirdo, so you can't talk to anybody. And when you're making music, I think you can express yourself so much more freely than you could otherwise. So my intention with my music is basically to spread as much love as possible and tell people that they can be whoever the fuck they want to be, and it doesn't matter if they fucking gay or if they bisexual or black or white or Asian or whatever. And it also doesn't matter where they come from, because at the end of the day there's only one race, which is the human being, and we're all just human. I just want to tell people to openly and freely express themselves and to do whatever the fuck they want to do, and don't restrict themselves to gender roles or shit like that. So yeah, basically that's what I want to say with my music, and I'm trying my best.
That's really great, actually, because I know that a lot of people who follow you on Instagram actually think that this is very precious about the music that you do, because I know that you get a lot of feedback regarding that point, and that they tell you that they feel comforted in a way.
Yeah, that's true. Especially for All Pride, which was the first song where the hook was recorded in English. So the song is about basically a gay boy who's in a club and he's kissing his boyfriend, and they're making out with each other, and the people in the club are judging them, and they don't give a fuck. They don't give a single he's like, I'm a fuck who I like and I'm proud, and everything will be all pride. So I got quite a few DMs from couples, and not only gay couples but also couples where, I mean, for example, there was a girl and she texted me and she was like, I have a boyfriend and he's from Syria, and I can't tell my parents because my parents would say you can't date him because he's not German. So they gotta hide their love for each other, which is so fucking crazy to me nowadays, that you have to hide who you love.
Yeah.
Actually, I think loving is a human right, even though it's not a human right, but it to me it's a human right. So I think nobody should hide who they love, and everybody should be able to show who they love and their love for each other, and not hide anything, especially from their loved ones. What are your intentions when you make music? What do you want to say with your music? Is there a certain theme or an idea which you want to convey?
So when I personally started to write music, I did this for myself to process a few things, because I tend to not be able to speak about my feelings. So that used to be the only way I could express my feelings and to work with them. But nowadays it's the same for my YouTube videos as well. I personally really like to make other people happy, because that makes me very happy. And since I wrote some songs, especially the first one I ever wrote, it's called Turn It to Gold, and it's basically about self-doubt and just not caring what other people think, and then just throwing that self-doubt away and turn everything into gold. That's basically what the song is about. And I have this one friend, and she struggles a lot with those things as well. And so she one day told me that she really loved this song because it helps her. And this is basically the main point why I want to make music. It's because I want to comfort other people and want to give them, even if it's just for 5 minutes, I want to give them happiness and comfort and just time for them to know that they can be who they want. Actually, it's the same as you say.
Yeah, I love that. I think there's so much self-doubt nowadays, especially amongst young teens and young adults also.
Yeah, right. This Gen Z generation, right?
There's so much fucking self-doubt, and it's destroying people. It's pressuring people into fucking depression, which is fucking crazy to me. And people compare themselves so much to each other, and also to ways these big celebrities portray themselves, which is not sustainable and which is not reachable for most of the population. Yeah, I think that's great what you're doing, because I think the world needs that, you know, the just telling people that they're fine just the way they are, and giving them a gateway to happiness for 5 minutes.
Actually, I just had to think about a quote that you always say, is that you actually hate perfection. It's something that you kind of find boring, and I can really agree to that, because perfection is boring in a way, and it's so much better if you have all of your edges and your own shapes and be who you are and be yourself, than being another person, or being a person that is based on society standards or body image standards or whatever. So
I mean, we're all perfectly imperfect. Perfect doesn't really exist. It's just a thing that we make up in our heads and in our minds. And I think everybody's beautiful just the way they are. Not the creepy guy in Strangers for Life. He's just a fucking creep. But, you know, besides him, I think, you know, just everybody's perfect in their own ways and in all shapes and colors. And I think more and more is going away from this Kylie Jenner perfection to actual perfection, which is imperfection. You know, I think, there's so much more people now showing, you know, the problems with their skin on Instagram, for example, or their double chins or something like that, which, you know, is totally normal or fine. It's not nothing to worry about, or it's not bad. But I think people are sharing that more than these perfect model pictures now, which is a signal to me that the world is orienting more to imperfection, which I love.
Yeah, it also, I think if people get this message that we just talked about into their head, it takes so much more pressure off of them, because they can finally be who they are and who they want to be, and not be someone that they have to be, or be someone that they're pressured into.
So yeah, I mean, we actually kind of have the same visions for our music, right?
But I think that's also the best part about it. Like, that's actually one of the best intentions you could have while writing music. Just giving other people comfort, or making them happy for a little bit, and just giving them out of their daily struggles.
I mean, you know, everybody can write a love song, and I certainly have written love songs before. I mean, everybody has. It's so much more exciting to me when you write a song and you know it's affecting so many people. I mean, the topic of the song is affecting a lot of people, not necessarily your song, but I think it's important to talk about it anyways and give opinions, because that's the only way you can change something, right? That's the same with Black Lives Matter. Without people protesting, there's no change, and without people talking about it, I mean, at least sharing something on Instagram or something like that, nothing's gonna change. So I think it's very important for us in our generation that we are having conversations about these things, like same-sex love or Black Lives Matter or something, you know? If we don't talk about it, and if we just sit at home and are like, nah, this is not about me, I'm not black, this is not about me, then I think there will be no better future. And I want a future for, you know, my kids, which they can go to school and not fear to be beaten up because of people thinking people with dark skin are bad, or they're gonna beat you up or rob you or something, you know?
Right, I can totally agree with that. Nothing more to that topic. I think we already covered a lot of the points we wanted to say, and we kind of drifted off a little.
We drifted off, yeah. Yeah, we talked about everything regarding the song, and also like our musical vision. Would you like to say where people can find you?
Oh, where people can find... Yeah, sure. So it's very weird to just jump into that.
Yeah, it's kind of awkward, but you know, fuck it.
As you already said, my usual ID where you can find me is Callmesvea. It's Callmesvea on Instagram and on YouTube, and soon on Spotify, hopefully, probably. Oh, on Twitter as well. But usually I'm not active on Twitter. So Instagram and YouTube.
Yeah.
I do some covers and some vlogs on YouTube as well. So go and check that out.
Yeah,
if you like to. You want to share where people can find you.
You know, YouTube is just young Beniboy. Instagram is just young Benny. Twitter is just young Beniboy, and Facebook is also just young Beniboy. But I mean, I really don't use Twitter a whole lot. But yeah, I mean, so far it was fun talking, and I can imagine we're gonna make another song in the future.
Yeah.
Sure. Okay, so I think we covered everything. Are there any last words before I quit this?
No, just follow young Beniboy everywhere, because he's a musician and he does a good job with music and spreading all of the messages he wants to spread. And it's actually pretty important what he has to say, so go and listen to that.
Thank you. And you guys also follow Svea. She's a sweetheart. She has a lovely fucking voice, and she makes really good music, and her vlogs are really entertaining, so I love it. Keep doing that, and
I think that's it.
That's it. Okay, have a nice evening, Svea.
You, bye.
Bye.